Hi, my name's Leonard, and today we are going to the market to get some ingredients because we are going to be trying to replicate a dish I had here in Malaysia, in Malacca, a Nyonya dish by the name of BABI chili garam, or basically pork cooked in salt and chili. Now, I wanted to make this video because I felt like this is a really unique and special dish that we had in this specific restaurant in Malacca, and it just tasted really good, and I really wanted to learn how to replicate it at home. And so I'm gonna head on to the market really quickly right now, get some ingredients, and I'll be back in the kitchen and we can officially start with BABI chili garam. Okay, so we're back today from the market, and we have a huge kilo plus of red chilies. Now, they are much more milder in flavor, especially if you remove the seeds and membranes, so they are the perfect specimen for this chili garam, in that sense that it won't be overwhelmingly too spicy. So the first thing we're going to do is we are going to get all of these washed chilies to be prepared by removing the seeds and the membranes to go into the pestle and mortar. Now, if we recall onto the image that we saw in the Samfu Restaurant, the chilies cannot be blended. In fact, they are quite whole in nature, in size actually. So we do want to replicate the same effect. And I do feel like it provides a bit more texture as well. I'm going to, first and foremost, tip the chilies out, and I'm going to slice them in half, and I'm just going to remove all the seeds, just like that. And this is effectively what we want to go into the pestle and mortar. So I'm going to get started on all these chilies over here. So cue time lapse. Now, one very important disclaimer that I did not mention, you don't have to use 1 kilo plus of chilies to make chili garam. I'm just a bit of a fanatic and I want to have a lot of chili garam available to me at home. If you're gonna just make one serving, you probably just need 10 whole red chilies. So just a big disclaimer very quickly. And one more thing, get a friend or an editor to do it with you. And one more thing, be very careful with your hands. If you're concerned about capsaicin, please use a glove. Alright, so the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna pound it to a texture that is relatively still coarse, but we've released a lot of its juices. But basically, you want it to smash into pieces just like this. And this is frankly quite good enough for you to be able to make them into a really nice chili garam already. So into the pot it goes, and I'm just going to keep smashing. Okay, so we have spent the last hour pounding the chilies as well as burning our fingers through the sensational heat of capsaicin. Like I said, it's really important to probably do this using the pounding method instead of blending, mainly because you want those big flecks of chili present in the final chili garam. Now the next thing we're going to do, or rather that I'm going to do, is I'm going to just change my shirt really quickly, if you don't mind. So as suggested by its name, chili garam basically only has two major components, the chilies, which we've done, and the salt or the garam. So the first thing I'm going to do is into a bowl over here, I'm just going to weigh very quickly how much chilies I have. I've got about 800 grams worth of chilies here, and I'm going to add 1% of salt by weight. So I'm going to split the salt into two different textures. I'm going to add some fine salt here, but I'm also going to add some coarse salt at the end once I've done the cooking to kind of give it a bit of texture and burst of saltiness throughout the chili garam. So I'm going to add 5 grams of normal salt here, and I'm going to add 3 grams of the coarse salt later at the end. This goes on. Chilies goes back inside, and we put it on the highest heat possible. Now the idea here now is you want to drive out as much moisture as possible. Now traditionally speaking, you would actually add oil in this stage and fry it. In the home kitchen, I don't recommend that because oil will cause things to splatter everywhere with that much moisture. So I like to dry it out as much as possible first and add the oil at the end. So we're going to let this cook, I think for a good 15 to 20 minutes on high. and we'll kind of see how it goes and stir it around. So it's been a good 10 minutes of actually frying this on high, and if you come closer to the pot, you can actually see a layer of chili fond starting to form at the bottom of the pot. And this is where a lot of the moisture has really left the building, and that's really when personally I would add the oil to get it to start frying, right? So I'm using Palmer's olive oil here. It's what I have from a project I did. You can use any oil, quite frankly speaking. In fact, I would even use extra virgin olive oil if I had it lying around. So anyways, into the pot, I want approximately about a good 1/4 cup. And don't worry too much about the oil because you are using it as a condiment, and you kind of use a small bit whenever you use it to fry chicken, fish, pork. In this case, we're doing BABI, which is pork, obviously. But you don't really need that much is what I'm trying to say when you actually use it. So it's fine to go a little bit heavy on the oil, or even the salt for that matter, actually. You can hear the sound changing now. It's slowly frying the moisture out, and that's really what you want to hear. See that sound? We're going to continue this for another 10-15 minutes, and you will see it darken in color further. The oil will start splitting out, and that's really when you know you're almost done. Alright guys, so we have been cooking this for a good 20-25 minutes in total now. And you can see it's much darker in color, and this is exactly the color that we saw in the images from the Samfu Restaurant, and it's exactly what I ate the other day as well. So at this stage, I'm going to do my final seasoning. I'm just going to take about 3 grams worth of coarse salt. You don't have to do this, but I think using coarse salt just makes it all the more textural and just a little bit nicer as well. So that's about 2 pinches there. Just mix it up. Really good. It looks really, really nice. Let me just have a very quick taste test. Okay, so get yourself a container like this if you made such a big batch like I did, and I'm just going to put it into said container and then keep it in the fridge for potentially up to more than 3 months. So over here we've got some pork shoulder that I have marinated and rinsed. So if you want to know how I tenderize pork shoulder, there's a video up here, I think. Up here, one of the sides, okay? And we're gonna just stir fry them very quickly and with some of the chili garam to see how it tastes like in a dish with some rice. Now, you can use any meats you want. Chili garam is traditionally eaten with fish. I've seen it with prawns, chicken, pork. Any meat really works very well. Alright, so it's done. I've got some rice and we're gonna have a little taste to see if it's really good. It's a really wonderful condiment. Wow, sedap gila leh.
I mean, it's not so spicy, but the fruitiness of this chili comes through.
So what have we learned from today's little experiment? Well, for one, we know for a fact that it's not difficult or extremely challenging to replicate this at home. Some little precautions to take. Gloves, for example, will be extremely helpful, you know, case in point. Now, aside from that, the recipe really is quite straightforward. It's not that difficult to do. I think it's safe to say that this is probably one of my favorite Nyonya dishes of all time, and I would absolutely love to see if any of you out there would also agree with me or, well, disagree with me. But more importantly, if you enjoyed today's video, consider giving us a like, and if you want to watch more videos like this, do consider staying around by subscribing to the channel. Yeah, bye!